r/ask Reddit. What is something we should enjoy while it lasts? Your knees. Currently on an exercise bike at physical therapy. Life is great till you can't stand straight. Had bad knees for most of my teenage and early 20s. Had meniscus removed from both. Started doing barbell squats, edit, and deadlifts. With proper form. Knees had never been better and can do hikes and anything athletic without any issues whatsoever. Keep your quads, glutes, calves and hams strong and your knees will thank you. Was going to say the same thing. I know a few people who had bad knees when they were younger who have almost no sign of it anymore now that they work their legs out and are in good shape. Funny how that works. Friendships. As I get older, late 20s, I see a lot of friendships fading away due to marriages, kids, etc. I am happy for all of them, but it is sad to see people drop off the face of the earth once they settle down. If you're one of the last ones to not have a family, the ones that are in familial bonds generally try to make a comeback in their mid to late 30s because that's when they usually have older kids and notice that you're no longer as involved in their life. It takes about 5 years post last child. It's almost astonishing to me how much they want to hang out now given that the previous decade norm was that they didn't want to. For a lot of us it's not that we don't want to, it's that it's a logistics nightmare. Yeah, let's grab dinner this week. Oh, but you're not off work until 5. Won't be home until 6. So we can't meet until 7. Okay cool. That's the baby's bedtime though, so can we push that to maybe drinks and an appetizer at 8 on a Wednesday? Okay yeah, that is a bit late. Maybe this weekend? Shit, my husband has to work Saturday. Okay, let me see if I can find a sitter. I'll let you know. I'd love to be able to hang out with my friends. It's just that there's this tiny human that I'm not allowed to leave here. Edit to add the obligatory, but no less sincere. Oh Silver. Thank you. That was very kind. Stability. One day something will happen that will shake up your life. Whether it is a death in the family, someone moving away, sudden job loss, enjoy your stable life while it lasts. This is the ducking truth. It's weird. We as humans like to think that there's such thing as stability. We crave it so much, and a lot of the work we do is to reach this pinnacle of life where things are stable, and somehow, that leads to happiness or fulfillment or whatever we're looking for. But life isn't stable. It's not a stagnant pool, but a rushing river that flows and changes constantly. Even though we all know this to be true, we are often completely blindsided and heartbroken when big change happens. As if that's not how life has happened for all of eternity. We are always somehow forgetting that life will always change whether you're ready for it or not. I think if we made a conscious effort to just admit to ourselves that stability is a fallacy and that change is what we get out of life, we would be a lot happier. We could enjoy the good things while they're here because we know that one day, they'll be gone. We can get past the bad things while they're here because we know that one day, they'll be gone as well. The more energy we spend trying to manipulate the world to achieve a sense of stability, the less energy we are able to spend just simply enjoying where we are and what we have in this moment. Breathing through both nostrils. Fun fact, most of the air always comes through just one nostril, even when they're both clear. That's true. I realize logically that I'm getting about the same amount of air when one is blocked, but I still can't stand the plugged feeling and pressure. Time with your parents, or other close loved ones. My dad is in his early 60s and just had a kidney transplant. The whole surgery I couldn't stop wondering if I'd seen my dad for the last time. Luckily he pulled through, but shit is terrifying. It's literally the worst. My grandpa passed away a few months ago at 93. Great man, but I just remember talking to my dad, who is 66, in the hospital about everything before the doctors started preparing us for the inevitable. Pain management instead of life-saving measures. My grandpa seemed pretty good all things considered. I just remember my dad saying that he didn't think my grandpa was ready. When he did pass, my dad was the last one to speak at the funeral and stuff, and he was pretty good the whole day. But right when he was about to finish his speech is when he finally broke down and started tearing up while saying that my grandpa was his best friend. That is the saddest thing I've ever seen. And I love my dad and I worry about how I'll take it when he passes. Glad your pops is okay. Having your teeth. This sounds like a personal threat. Edit. I awoke to gold. Thank you. He's offering you a knuckle sandwich. Your parents and grandparents said it. Thanks people for the Gildan plats. Go ahead and call your parents or grandparents just to tell them hello and check in on what's going on with them. I might add, ask your grandparents about their younger lives, what they did. If they are immigrants, ask them about what it was like moving here. By the time you are old enough to be curious about their history, they are gone. The stories my grandpa told me about his time in World War II and being a POW was crazy, and my grandmother has some pretty crazy stories too. Fish, we're worried over fishing our rivers and oceans. At this rate, we're expected to deplete our natural fish supply in 30 years. Edit. A lot of people are mentioning enjoy it while it lasts. Better eat up and exhaust the supply faster. Semicolon, that's not really what I'm getting at. As the wild fish supply disappears, the demand for farm-raised fish, the only kind you'll be able to find, will increase and the price will go up a lot. So perhaps it would be more accurate to say, enjoy affordable farm-raised fish while it's still affordable. Or maybe since there's no hope for wild-caught fish anyway, eat up. That's why I actually aim for farmed fish rather than fresh caught at the grocery store. People seem get excited about wild caught fish, but they don't always realize how damaging that is to oceanic food webs. Farmed fish breed diseases that spread to the wild population. Though, you may be referring to hatchery fish which are ethically raised to supplement wild fisheries. Subsistence fishing is perhaps the best way for sustainably caught wild fish. Commercial fishing is where we get into trouble. The city of Venice. Curiously, I saw a documentary recently that argues the millions of tourists visiting Venice is killing the city. The population is now half of what it was 50 years ago, because everyone wants to make things ebs and jacking up the rent. So normal Venetians can't afford to live there anymore. As a result, the city is closing services in the old town, like the schools and hospitals, which accelerates the decline. At the current rate it's decreasing. No one will actually live in Venice within a decade or two and it will just be a Disneyland. And honestly, as someone who has been to Venice, and thus contributed to the problem, I was amazed at how crowded it was even in friggin' October. Duck Airbnb for this very reason. It's not about tourism bringing too many bodies to the city. It's Airbnb ducking the housing market up the ass so nobody can afford to actually live there. Privacy. I feel like in 10 years or so there's going to be so much technology that no one is going to have privacy. Already gone. Compare the privacy expectations of millennials with baby boomers. Not even the same planet. And just think, most of the children born in the last 10 years probably have their entire lives catalogued on Facebook and Instagram. The current golden age of peace. We are living in a bizarre time in history where technological progress is off the charts and the major world powers haven't had an open conflict with each other in 70+ years. If history is any model for the future, this is not a sustainable situation. A lot of it is not only because we have become so good at war that it is virtually impossible to have one without severely ducking up the planet, but that war is so costly compared to peace. When global resources, per head, start to dwindle, war will make a comeback. We just have to hope that things like nukes have become unusable by the time that happens. Exactly this. The biggest deterrent to war is economics. In the modern, global economy, war between major world powers would be very bad economically for everyone involved. They might not like each other, but even the worst of enemies will come together to make a buck. The best way to ensure peace is to keep war unprofitable. The few weeks where the toothpaste is actually full. After that you have to squeeze for a month or two. You know when you use Aquafresh and that first squeeze has the perfect stripes and it looks like a commercial. After that first squeeze it's never the same. Kids being young. I was once getting my toddler son ready to leave my parents' house, and I said, I can't wait till he can tie his own shoes. My mother stopped me right there and told me never to wish the time away with your children. Savor every stage, because before you know it that wish for them to grow up comes true. I can't wait until my daughter can poop in the toilet on her own. I am really not liking the cleanup. Rideshare subsidies. Uber and Lyft rides are currently priced in order to gain market share. Once they have enough market power, the profit machine will be turned on and we will have equal or higher prices as to what they were before. Likely with the drivers still making the same crappy percentage. Likely with the drivers being kicked to the curb by robots. Internet freedom. I can picture in my mind a world without war, a world without hate, and I can picture us attacking that world, because they'd never expect it, Jack Handay. This is far too true for the universe is good. Every person and relationship you've ever had, there's an inevitable end to all of them, so hold them dear while you can. It sucks how overnight, the person you live with, spend the majority of your time with, and maybe even have kids with suddenly becomes a stranger. That rarely happens overnight. Free clean water. I dunno, man. What did clean water do if it's in jail right now? Man, sorry. Apparently, bananas. Bananas are all basically clones. And we already, essentially, lost the previous banana from our typical diet. The Gros Michel because of near extinction. We've only really found one more banana species in Madagascar, and it's been labeled as inedible. Context: sneaky edit. There are lots of different varieties as well as breeds of banana, all with different challenges and flavors, but the most common, by a large margin, the Cavendish, is notably fragile and could be nearly or completely wiped out like the Gros Michel before it. I was talking to a friend about banana republics. How weird it is that we started a war and dominated a country for bananas. Like you think there'd be some grander design. Nope, just bananas. Her response: I love bananas. Democracy loves bananas. The energy of your youth. You keep putting things off in your youth like travel, but it's physically more difficult as you age. Go out and do things while you're young enough and healthy enough to do so. I want to travel more than anything right now, but I can't afford to at all. Have you thought about a sugar daddy? The honeymoon phase of a relationship. Or you can just be an emotional douchebag who hops around relationships chasing that feeling, leaving a trail of broken hearts and wallets along the way. This comment has nothing to do with you, Lena. Beach. r/Ducklena. Leggings and yoga pants. I will shed a tear when that trend dies. Guessing you're a dude judging by the comment and username. Correctamundo. High quality chocolate. I feel like you know something the rest of us don't. Is there something that's threatening the supply of high quality chocolate? Life. The universe. And everything. African elephants. The Wild West of the internet is now. Soon enough everything will be regulated. Hell, we might even need a license to use the internet in the future. Basically, anyone can post anything as long as they have a computer and a connection. The way things are going with Article 13 and net neutrality, we may not have much longer. The Wild West of the internet is now. I'm going to bet money you didn't use BB says, or dial-up internet in the 90s. Okay, fine. How about the mild Wild West? The ability to lay down in a bed. I broke my back about a year ago and had to sleep for 6-ish months in a recliner because I couldn't lay down flat. I only recently was able to lay down flat again on a bed, and I will never take it for granted again. Being single. It's amazing to find someone worth being with, but learning to be single and appreciating the simplicity of it is a virtue. Your pets. They won't be around forever and it hurts when they are gone. Go and hug your dog or give your cat a treat and show them you love them a little more today. Nature. Today. Your nose being nice and empty. You never know what an absolutely awesome thing it is to be able to breathe freely through your nose until you have just the worst cold and haven't smelt anything in a week. Antibiotics. I'd argue that we shouldn't savor them. We shouldn't use them unless absolutely necessary. Alex Trebek. Streaming services. It used to just be Netflix had everything. Then Hulu and Amazon Prime entered the market and fractured the content. HBO and YouTube Red followed soon after. Now Disney is entering. It's gonna go right back to the way it was during cable TV. But now you have to pay for each channel. Potable water coming right out of the tap. I think that we should enjoy the internet before it dies due to Article 13 being passed everywhere. We'll just make a newer, better internet with blackjack and hookers. The Earth. Helium. It can't be manufactured and there is a limited supply. Once all of it is used it will be gone forever. Seafood. Time with your grandparents. I'm lucky enough to have my nan and grandma still alive and I cherish every moment with them. It kills me to see kids out with their grandparents and they're just absorbed by their phones. Kids, you've got your whole lives for your phones. Put it down and enjoy your grandparents' company. Healthy teeth. The climate. The moon before it leaves orbit. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cuss you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.